Welcome back to Cape Critiquers, everybody. Today we are talking about the from 1991.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Is this? I was about to ask if it's the oldest, but I still think Cap is.
Yeah, probably Cap. It's
Yeah.
the oldest one we've done.
This is definitely better than that Cat movie.
Oh yeah,
Production-wise,
Yes.
values, definitely,
Mhm.
yeah.
I mean, those like flying scenes look better than like Chronicle.
I would debate that.
Yeah, I mean some of the green.
I mean,
screen
like the
stuff
clouds.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the clouds.
Those
yeah.
at least are just like.
Because there was a few like scenes, especially at the
Yeah.
the flying show at the
Oh,
air
yeah.
show,
It was definitely 91.
where
There's
you could
no
see
doubt.
him
Yeah.
like literally just on
Yeah.
wires doing
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I
See how you guys feel.
didn't really mind the special effects too much.
No, I
didn't really
expected
notice
it, but
anything.
we
Yeah.
grew up in a time when you could tell special effects were special
Yeah.
effects.
Right,
So
right.
these weren't terrible.
No.
No.
The special effects weren't what made me hate the movie.
No,
Yeah.
you hated it though.
You hated it.
Really?
I wouldn't say hate.
I thought it did a very good job of capturing like a time and
Mhm.
sticking with it the whole way.
It was in the 1930s,
Yeah,
right?
it took place in the 30s, the early days of the Nazi movement, and they were here in the States because
Yeah.
you know what?
Supposedly,
I
mean,
I
fucking-
think they were actually selling coins in this state. Believe it or not, that's a true story, though. I think they were. They were selling stuff to make money
Yeah.
to go back to the motherland and take over the world.
I mean, like a lot of this movie is like almost playing to like propaganda type
Yes.
shit too.
Mhm.
Like just Howard Hughes being this fucking
I
Iron Man type guy.
I
Yeah.
forgot
Yeah, right.
about Howard Hughes in this movie, and they actually played that pretty well. It didn't overtake the movie, but it was central to everything that was going on.
Jack also pointed out that fucking Howard Hughes never would have been a war profiteer.
No.
Well, no. He would have been,
Yeah.
and that's the issue.
Oh.
He would have
Like-
been big in it.
He wouldn't be the type of guy where he's like, no, I don't want to
Yeah.
sell this
Oh,
stuff.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
And like also
That's-
just
yeah,
not
that
being
was-
involved with the fucking CIA, FBI.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah, he kind of like owned them. I mean,
Yeah.
he was powerful just simply because of the billions he was worth. you know,
Well, he
at the
was
time.
worth more than the government.
And he was an intelligent guy. He was a creator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little different than the people we have out there
I
today.
mean, Elon. It's kind of just,
Yeah, I mean, he
Yeah.
he got fucking Nixon in, so.
Yeah, it's true.
he hires very smart people. You know, what can I say?
I thought at least that the film balanced tones by using humor to offset the darker Nazi stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. I could agree.
Most certainly.
Yeah, I had forgotten that this was like made through Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a total Disney production.
Yeah.
And I was a little surprised at the amount of violence.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it
For
is
a
also
Disney
And
movie.
murders.
Nice.
Not
Yeah.
just there's
Yeah.
murders.
Yeah.
Like straight out death.
Yeah.
The actor who played the actor. What's his name again?
Yeah, with Mr. James Bond there.
Yeah.
Timothy Dalton.
Timothy Dalton. So
Yeah.
Timothy Dalton playing basically a Errol Flynn being the bad guy. I thought that was just a great story. Like especially back in the 30s when that stuff was probably really going on in this country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
propaganda. So you can put propaganda in movies to make people think one way or
Right.
another.
When he
you know?
was actually saying lines from movies,
Yeah.
they were actually using real actresses' names.
Oh,
He
yeah,
said that's
yes.
Ava Gardner.
And then
or
when
whatever.
he was out at the club, W.C. Fields comes over.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought they did that really well in this movie.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I liked it. And that's what sort of okay. They picked this 1930s Hollywood, this the backdrop and everything, and they just played it really well.
Mhm.
I thought they did really good in that.
He just does a great job at just like villain that's sophisticated.
Yes.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A little rapey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I just liked him so much as just like a classical performance
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
He reminds me a bit of like Ralph Finn, the one that
Yeah,
played,
yeah.
Voldemort.
Yep.
Right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Ever seen Lion in Winter with him?
I have not seen Lion in Winter. I know.
Prince of Spain.
Yeah, I know the movie, but I've never seen it. So something I got to watch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think also Joe Johnston just captures like period pieces really well. It's
Mhm.
kind of what he's.
I mean,
Yeah.
specifically like 30s through 50s.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's kind of built a career on it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, he designed the Iron Giant. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was also saying to Jack, like, it's insane that he directed the first Cap movie,
Mm-hmm.
the MCU one. It's like
Yeah.
it just feels like something that the MCU would not do anymore. It's just pick like one of these like genre giants to
Yeah.
make their movie that's supposed to kind of be like this.
Yeah.
It's just such like a pipe dream thing kind of
Yeah.
that actually turned out that we had him direct the first Cap movie.
Mm-hmm.
So
And he
yeah.
did it well, I think. So.
Yeah, I agree. I think I do like this movie better than the first Cap, but
Mhm.
Yeah. I just feel like there's not that much in this movie where like I can really hate.
mm-hmm.
Like I'm wondering like what do you guys not like about it so much?
Yeah.
Who's you guys?
Oh, I have my own opinion. You go
Go
first.
ahead.
You go.
You want
You go first, yeah.
Me?
Yeah. You're the one that hates
For
it.
some reason, I thought the Rocketeer himself was just a fucking doofus.
He definitely is.
But he was supposed to
And
play
I
the
feel like
doofus, I
he
think.
comes
though,
off
too.
more like
It's
that.
annoying to
Yeah,
me
yeah.
when you try to be a fighter and you're not. When you try and talk smart, but you're not. And it's just like carried through the movie.
Yeah.
The scenes, some of the action scenes were great. I loved him on the Zeppelin, and I thought that was done well, but he just didn't. He wasn't the hero for me.
This movie reminds me kind of like Indiana Jones.
A little bit, yeah.
Want to know what I was thinking of there? When he punches the FBI guy, and then he gets punched back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That was early on.
But
yeah.
it's like Indiana Jones carries such like a confidence to him where
This guy
this
didn't
guy
have that.
doesn't. He really is more bumbling.
Yeah, and he's cocky, but he doesn't have the backup for it. So I
Yeah.
know what you mean.
even toward the end with the scene when he wanted to give his jetpack back, he says, "I need
Yeah.
it for one more day. I promise you, I'll give it back."
Yeah.
But you're
It-
a
it
fucking
almost-
doofus.
It almost comes off like if this main character was like a kid,
Yeah.
like that type of line works.
Yeah.
It's a little silly to have like an adult say that, you know. Maybe he's supposed to be a kid. He just looks really old.
He was too clean cut to be tough.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
Yeah.
to me, he wasn't the hero that I wanted.
I do think like visually he has like a great like
Yeah.
hero aura. Like,
Yeah.
the suit looks great. When he takes off the mask, like the hair is just fucking perfect.
Even as just like a
Yeah.
fucking just like 30s guy, I just
Yeah.
think he like would look good in the 30s,
Right.
especially.
He definitely is the big blue American hero type of guy, kind of like Cap.
Yeah.
Yeah. And ultimately, for me, the Rocketeer isn't much of a. The main plot was that the Nazis were going to make
Yeah, just
troops and troops and
rocket
troops,
troops,
and
yeah.
that they were going to fly anywhere and attack any country. When I'm like, but we shoot fucking planes down.
Yeah.
You see fucking 10 guys flying in the sky, they go down.
But to me,
quick.
it just seemed really good as that 1930s propaganda stuff.
Right,
You
that-
know, and it
that's-
worked well for me for 1930s.
And I mentioned that to you.
know?
I said that
Yeah.
was half the battle against the Nazis was the fear of what the fuck is coming next.
That's right.
You know,
Yeah.
because they
and
were
they were
just,
big on that
I
stuff.
also
Yeah.
like the idea of the jetpack as like this insane like future technology.
Right.
Because really it isn't.
I mean,
It's
we
a-
still don't fucking
We
have
still
one.
don't
Yeah,
really
we
have
don't
it like
yeah.
that.
one,
Right.
yeah.
But like it's so basic and like it is old and vintage, but it, like to them like that's like a flying car.
I mean, it's also like I thought they played it well, just like how like he was fucking working on it, the older guy.
Yeah, P.
Alan Arkin,
Yeah.
PvP. Yeah.
And also, I just want to say, I do think the jetpack, like it's almost like a modern drone type of thing. You know,
Yeah.
like that's
Yeah.
that's why they don't fucking get Rocketeers
Yeah.
because now we have fucking drones and
Yeah,
more.
exactly.
So, and they are harder to shoot down
Yeah.
just because of the size.
I was just amazed that obviously there were no jets at the time.
Yeah.
That no one was making a connection of, wow, he's got this technology to let people fly. How could we use that to make a fighter?
And the Germans actually had one of the first jets.
And they actually designed one of the first jets, yeah.
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 You know, so pretty wild. But
But I didn't hate the movie. It just didn't.
I thought that the whole character background in this movie was fantastic because a lot of the character actors really made a lot of the story too. You know, his posse, if you will, at the airfield. I thought they were
Yeah.
really good. The old guy who went off a little bit
Right,
on tangents, the woman in the diner, everything. I thought Alan Arkin as his
Yeah, I loved Alan
Yeah,
Arkin.
he was
This movie.
fantastic
That was
in
really
this.
good.
Alan Arkin plays E.B. Farnham, right?
yeah. And he's just
Deadwood.
one of the greatest character actors of all time.
The leader of the gang, the mob.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
yeah,
I like
Paul
him.
Servino.
Yeah.
What's his
Paul
Paul
Savino.
Savino.
Paul, I mean, you're talking another character actor. He plays that part.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, yeah, it's just like Paul Servino went from Goodfellas to like, let me get my family-friendly check.
Yeah.
And you know he plays it perfectly. He's great. He's the type of guy where it's like if he's like your uncle, he's probably like the nicest guy, but if you see him in the street, you know, he's really intimidating.
But even the guy that owned the airfield, we saw him in. He was the guy that owned the pawn shop in the last movie.
Oh yeah.
The voice.
oh
Yeah.
yeah. He
But
made
he
the
was-
deal with them.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's funny. yeah.
Everything's
It's the
fine.
same guy.
folks.
But he's
Everything's
just
fine.
another
I'm-
great character
Yeah.
actor. And all these.
He's got a
Definitely a,
interesting voice.
He does,
voice.
yeah.
So why did you not like?
I just don't like the jetpack is cool and all, but the idea behind him being a superhero, I guess,
Yeah,
it's kind
I
of stupid.
Thought it was interesting that like kind of like the MacGuffin of the film is also what provides the central power to the hero.
Yeah.
I wonder like, is there other hero movies like that?
Blue Beetle,
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
the scarab.
I mean, I knew that there was. I just couldn't
Iron
think
Man.
of any. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that is
Every
yeah,
movie.
very common actually.
Yeah.
And then there was just a few scenes where even me and you were watching it last night, where he would land in front of the bad guys, and they were having that fucking
Yeah,
Tommy
yeah,
guns
yeah.
that
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
shake all over the place. He could get shot. Just shoot him.
Yeah.
You kept saying like, just fucking shoot him. He's
why
right
is
there.
he holding her hostage when all he's got to do is fucking shoot him and take
Yeah.
the jetpack off?
Yeah, just like you want the jetpack.
And not that
Boom.
every movie has to make sense for me to enjoy it.
Yeah.
I feel like
But
what makes that work though is that like you have to think of this as a propaganda film,
Yeah.
where like it's just so fucking cheesy and just like shit will not make sense.
Like the fucking video that Howard Hughes shows them is like the funniest fucking thing,
It is pretty
and it's
funny,
so
yeah.
well made.
it had cool animation.
Yeah.
though.
It had
Yeah,
great,
the
but it had
animation.
the animation from that time, and that actually
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
plausible.
Yeah.
Very
It's like,
cool.
One of
We've
my
never-
favorite things.
No one's
in
ever
this
seen this.
is that stupid piece of gum throughout the whole movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
God.
You
like
know?
just the whole motive of just like luck, just
Yeah.
never actually coming into the movie, you know.
Yeah, but I did this for
Well, I
luck,
mean, it's like
you know?
he took off the gum and immediately like he got into the situation where the
Mhm.
fucking plane's crashing.
I mean, it's like only to provide the bullet hole
yeah,
in the tank.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
And
a
then
patch.
at the end, Howard gives him he's like, never fly without this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
My favorite line in the movie though was the gangster when he turns around and he says, "Easy, Frankie, you ain't bulletproof." That guy looked like Frankenstein.
Yeah. That guy was fantastic.
Yeah.
Who the hell is that guy?
Yeah, I don't know. Just
Little
big
John, I'm
German.
pretty sure his name is.
I thought his name was like Trog.
His actor.
Oh,
Luthor or something.
yeah,
Is that-
Trog.
Is that his real face?
No, it cannot be.
No,
that was
no,
the
that was
most
prosthetic.
It's not.
90s prosthetic face
Yeah.
I've ever
Yeah.
seen.
It's almost like that Al Pacino movie.
Oh, fucking Dick
oh
Tracy.
My God, Dick
Yeah.
Tracy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was terrible.
Never put that on there.
That's the other thing I noticed with this movie. There were scenes where there were characters that had prosthetics on for no fucking reason. Like there's one scene where she's having the date with the villain. They're in the restaurant, and one of the guys walks over and he's got this big fat fucking nose.
That was W.C. Fields.
Yeah, what?
Because that's what W.C. Fields had, this big glowing nose because he was a big drinker.
Yeah. This you also
But
like this movie is so
And a big rosy nose.
campy. And maybe it's because I don't know. I grew up on like the fucking Raimi Spider-Man movies that
Yeah.
I'm just like immune to camp at this point. But this is like the campiest,
Mm-hmm.
like silliest, like almost not serious
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, there was so many. What do you call them? Trope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I mean, the one that made me laugh was when she hits him in the head with the
Yeah.
vase,
Yeah.
and it knocks him out. 'Cause that always works.
I
Yeah.
was thinking about that too. Yeah.
You know, that always works.
And with that scene too, it was like the slowest. It was like, what
And like the way that he falls is so slow.
it's
too.
so slow.
I didn't think it worked.
Well, do you think he was acting though?
Maybe.
Just so he could get the
True.
yeah.
But he was holding his head when he opened
He was
the-
bleeding. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
bleeding.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a good. He said he did all of his own stunts. So
He's a what? And then I thought it was interesting that they didn't say Nazi in that moment. It was,
Yeah.
it's just
A
like everything
fascist.
fascist. Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
that I did the Nazis didn't call themselves Nazis.
No, they didn't call themselves Nazis then.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I love the scene where Paul Sorvino like flips sides and he's like, "Hey, I might be a pretty bad guy, but I'm an American."
That's right.
I'm 100% American.
And then he's like, they're shooting at the Nazis and everything, and then like the FBI starts shooting at the Nazis, and they both just kind of
They
look
look
at
at each other.
It's just like funny.
And of course, they had to throw that classic line in where he's like, "Go get him, kid."
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's the 30s. Oh,
Mhm.
shucks.
I'm glad they didn't kill Peabody in this movie.
Mhm.
Just as like I don't know, like a Superman type John Kent or Pa Kent also.
I thought they subverted that pretty well.
yeah.
Because like when the gun comes up in the top of that dog bear fucking diner.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's kind of just like Kent parents and one of the
Mhm.
Kryptonian bots like mixed together
Yeah.
type character.
Yeah, I think
So
so.
it's
Actually,
a presence, I guess.
I wasn't even thinking about this in like a very Superman way, but that is kind of like a
I mean,
interesting.
I feel like it almost definitely tries to apply that like family
Yeah.
moral type thing.
Mhm.
Now that you had mentioned like the Iron Giant, like his work on the Iron Giant, I could definitely see the
Yeah.
comparison.
Most certainly.
Yeah, I thought it was just a bad idea though, combining the jetpack with a hydrogen
Zeppelin.
zeppelin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was like, flames and
Instant boom.
Yeah.
It runs on alcohol, but it never runs out.
yeah, it never runs out. Right? Yeah.
I don't know why I recalled like a scene where he steals alcohol in this.
Maybe you had the director's cut.
Oh, you know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of in October Sky, Jake
Mhm.
Gyllenhaal movie when they
Mm.
take an alcohol from the drunk dad.
That's actually a good movie.
Yeah, same director.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
He just kind of makes these movies.
Yeah, where people fucking
Huh?
use alcohol as fuel.
But October Sky's from like a real story.
So is this.
Really?
I really love the whole Art Deco aesthetic.
Mhm.
Yes. Especially in the club.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Mhm. Yep.
Portrayed period piece.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just
Like I
even
said,
all the clothing, all the set dressing.
Yeah.
Do you like the suit?
might be my favorite suit in anything ever.
Yeah.
It's just so good.
For its time, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I like how they don't even really address it. Like, it's his fucking leather jacket. You
Yeah.
know? Because nobody ever, like, sees him, really.
Mhm.
So,
I mean, like for me, unfortunately, we ran through it when we were watching it. He wasn't very bulletproof.
No.
Mhm.
No.
yeah.
You know, there was
Not
no
at all.
attempt to make him. It was fucking leather. You know.
Yeah, we were just talking about like the Daredevil suit, like the way the suits are now, where everything's so tactical and so like
Mhm.
armored.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to just see like something fucking stupid.
Stupid.
I mean,
You
I was
know?
just thinking
Yeah,
of just, like,
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
it's so insane to me that DC, just like on media or film or movies or TV and everything, just has like so much more cleaner and consistent suits than at Marvel.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
It's like even in just like the shitty TV shows, it's just like Flash had like an actual Flash suit, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand what the Marvelization of suits is, but
Gotta add 50 chevrons and
Mhm.
lines.
I like the beginning of this movie when they first find out that they have the rocket and they steal the statue and
Oh,
put it on the
yeah.
statue
Yeah.
and try to
yeah,
figure it out.
who is
Yeah.
the statue? It's somebody famous. I think. And then like the way that they discover the helmet is because
Oh.
the statue's head gets like busted up.
Yep.
Right, and it works. You see that design of that
Yeah.
was actually cool.
Yeah.
I mean, and it looked period.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
looked like what
Yeah.
somebody at that time would make.
Exactly. What did he do?
No.
Cut it off of something
Yeah.
in the house?
Wasn't
Not
it-
too
yeah, it
futuristic.
was like a radiator.
He had that little fin on the
Yeah.
top to help him.
Yeah,
steer
rudderate.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out who the statue was because I feel like it's probably some nod to something. Like
Yeah.
there's so many little nods to stuff in this movie.
Mhm.
Like even after he says to think to Howard Hughes, like I need it for one more day, and like all right, book him or whatever.
Charles
Yeah.
Lindbergh.
Charles.
Oh,
yeah.
that's hilarious.
there you
Limbo.
go.
Wow.
Nice.
It's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually a very good Easter egg. When he flies out of Howard Hughes' hangar or whatever, the
Mhm.
office
Yeah, that
hangar,
was
Yeah.
with
it's
his...
the Spruce Goose.
Yeah, it's
The
just
Spruce
Yeah.
well,
Goose.
it does
Yeah.
fly.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was the
that's
demo.
another-
Yeah, that was the
That was the
demo.
model
Yeah.
of this
Yeah.
Spruce Goose. It
Yeah.
does fly. See,
I just
I
thought
knew
there
it would
was
fly.
so many great, like having watched The Aviator fucking 10,000
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
$280 million got to nothing.
Mhm.
Didn't give a single fucking plane.
What did you guys think of Jennifer Connelly in this movie?
I really liked the whole thing. Her and Neville
Mhm.
have like a little competition to like outact each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like have knowledge about film too,
Mhm.
I guess.
I thought that was this is
Yeah.
probably one of my favorite roles I've ever seen her in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think your Aunt Marissa said you had a crush on him.
I probably did.
You definitely
Back
did.
then. You were
Yeah.
young. When,
And I actually
Yeah.
think it was from the first
Me and
Hulk
everybody
movie.
else.
but I could see why. Yeah, absolutely.
I think it was from that first Hulk movie.
Oh, I forgot she's in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
One more thing with the scene where they're like reciting movies to each other.
Mm-hmm.
I love the part where Neville goes away after that, and he's like, I feel like it has to be something where it's not even intentional, like in the writing, but Timothy Dalton just added it, where he's just like, oh, just the way he like shows embarrassment, because I feel like he'd not expect her to know that those were quotes from a movie at
Mhm.
all.
I think she's actually good in this movie. It kind of is funny though that like at the end, like everyone kind of gets like something to celebrate about,
Mhm.
and it's like she's like I guess never acted again. Just like I was like, oh, maybe she get like a role or something.
Yeah.
No, nothing.
No, that
She
guy
helped
tra-
save the world,
It's
and
like
she
they,
got nothing.
we never even find out that like the actor's like a Nazi either. They're just like,
Mhm.
yeah, he fucking tragically blowed up.
And then they didn't stop the Nazis.
Well, I mean,
either.
it's more about like the U.S. doesn't want people to know
Yeah.
that like they had a Nazi undercover.
But it's like I don't know. They're
20
probably gonna have
years.
to remake that movie. You think like Jennifer Connelly's character,
Yeah.
get a bigger role maybe.
Well, don't forget, we weren't at war.
No.
This wasn't.
Oh,
This
true.
was pre 1942. So
Mhm.
we knew about the Nazis, but that was Europe's problem.
Yeah.
You know.
Like a lot of great little details in this movie. I saw someone point out when the Rocketeer knocks down the stage, it's kind of like showing that there's like the main Neville villain guy was
Mhm.
like a fraud. Like that's like his fraud falling kind of.
Sure.
Okay. Let's move it on.
The action and like character development aren't like extremely deep or anything, but I just think it's kind of like The Crow. Like if you just show it in every scene and just make it come through, like
Mhm.
in that specific scene in that specific way, it just works for me.
Yeah.
Even if it, like you said, it's not good maybe, but like
no.
I think they did show it well in every scene
Yeah.
Yeah.
for what it was.
Production
Yeah.
values were awesome. It didn't look like at any point I was looking at a cheap movie.
Mhm.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
It
Like,
also has like that classic like 90s live action Disney soundtrack to it. I
Yeah.
think it's just so
yeah, no, I agree.
helpful to that.
They stayed
Style.
within their period piece. There
Mhm.
was no like super futuristic thing stuck in there. Like even like you said, just even down his basic suit, and
Yeah.
the jetpack was the most advanced thing in the movie. They did okay.
I like the scene where they have to get away and they're in the truck.
And
Yeah.
yeah. But you would think somebody would have said, "Wow, we put this on that fucking plane that we built."
Yeah, exactly.
You know. But
What about after when they fucking Tommy gun Peabody's house?
Yeah.
And then he's like, I got a fucking gazebo now.
That was good. Yeah. Like, we ain't got a house. We got a gazebo.
There are like just a lot of jokes in this that worked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of details too, but my fucking thing got shot down. I can run through some details I remember. He remembered that his girlfriend likes tomato soup, and that's why he starts pouring the tomato soup to shock her.
It's a shocker with the note.
Yeah. Also,
I just like little scenes work in this movie for me where he puts the paper into the plate and then it floats up and that's like the thing into the next scene. It just works well for me.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
I agree. That guy that was fixing the wheel thing, like,
Malcolm, isn't it?
yeah, hands shake and then the wheel fucking goes in the soup.
No, not that he's an alcoholic. He was shell-shocked from the war and all that,
Yeah.
getting old and everything else. But
Yeah.
he's not an
No,
alcoholic.
I didn't know.
Stupid druggy military.
Yeah. But then also, like, when he's flying the plane, he's got
Yeah.
shaky hands, so that's why he breaks the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Then I'm just trying to say there's, like, a lot of little things in this movie that happen that
Mhm.
get called back to subtly.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's all very subtle.
I don't really have a least favorite scene. It's more so about how the luck motif was handled in this movie.
Mhm.
Yeah, just like I said, it was really only so that he could take it off at the end and
Yeah.
kill him. Also, the Howard Hughes warship is a bit outdated, even for the time. And I told AJ in the comics it was Doc Savage who built the thing. So
Okay.
I did think that whatever helicopter thing they were driving was weird.
forget what.
It's
it's like a
auto
half
gyro.
plane thing.
Yeah. That's actually, I told him, that's a
Yeah.
legit
Mhm.
plane
Yeah.
with no use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. And then he said, "Yeah, unless you got to pull somebody off a burning Zeppelin,
Yeah.
then it's
the whole
perfect."
thing.
Yeah.
You
Where
know.
you, like, you
Well,
know,
yeah, that's like the
perfectly
funny thing about
timed.
this movie. It's like that's fucking like what Howard Hughes like give
right.
as a reason to make
Yeah.
something
Right.
Yeah.
or to develop something. You know?
Just in case.
Just in case there's a burning and we got to pull two people off. The
Yeah.
top of it.
He probably made most of his money from failed
Experiment.
government contracts.
Yeah.
My least favorite is that scene in the Zeppelin where he's holding the gun on.
I do feel like it is like almost a bit of a weak. Yeah, I guess it's just like weak ending compared to the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Exactly.
you know?
Some of those moments just took way too long, and if it was a faster moment, maybe they could have gotten away with it. But just standing there with a gun on him the whole time, and
Yeah.
just he's not going to be able to get away from me from a bullet that fast and that close. So I get it.
My favorite scene was in the same place, though.
Mhm.
I liked everyone getting kicked out of the
Yeah.
fucking windows
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
Zeppelin.
Yeah.
This is our best pilot, you know.
Mhm.
Beep, boom, boom.
Yeah, it was good.
Oh, with my most favorite is the scene where he saves Malcolm, and it's just like
I was
his
gonna say
entry into
that
being a
too.
hero.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I was gonna be mine too. I think it's the trope of, like, hero learning his powers is actually
Yeah.
done well in this one.
Yeah.
And before it became outdone, I think so.
Yeah.
Oh.
And just like how it keeps turning off, turning back on. It's just funny.
My favorite scene has got to be the gangsters and the FBI shooting at the Nazis together.
Yeah.
That was
actually
just a
pretty
funny.
scene.
Least favorite? I think I'd have to agree that just fucking shoot him.
Yeah.
You want the jetpack, you want the girl. He's right there.
I'm a full-blooded American.
And I kind of like the scene when they stole the statue and set the whole thing up, trying to figure out what this thing could do. Just because it was just, this is what these guys do. It's aircraft, and you know,
Yeah.
the one guy designs aircraft and all that stuff. You know,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
that was pretty cool little scene.
Yeah.
And the thing's flying around. They almost made it like went around the earth and came back, but it just flew around the whole valley. You know, he even said, "Oh Christ, we probably woke up the whole valley."
Yeah. Why do you think them live together?
Probably had something to do with, he said something about he didn't have parents or something, and this guy just worked
Yeah.
at the airfield, and
I always thought of it
They
as like
became
a
roomies.
like Doc type thing
And
from
like-
like
Yeah.
Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Doc and Marty.
yeah, the other thing, I mean, like Jennifer Connelly's character lived in like one of those women's homes, you know,
Yeah.
like one of those apartment complexes, but it was all for women.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
interesting. Like
Well, that
it
was
just like
popular
makes
back in the
the
day.
scenes with her
Mhm.
where she's there just so much more interesting.
Yeah.
It's just like a whole
Mm-hmm.
interesting like dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we fucking talk about Neville's house? Fucking the Egypt house?
Yeah, the Egypt house. Yeah. Hey.
Like a tomb.
But that was the whole Errol Flynn thing, you know?
That was the
It just-
exotic Hollywood,
Yeah,
man.
that was it. Back
It was
then. I mean,
nothing
that was-
big or gaudy. It was just
Yeah.
whatever I want.
Mhm.
Yeah. 2 movies in a row also. We got big guys working for the head guy.
Mm-hmm.
My rating is a 7 out of 10. I just think Joe Johnston is a master at American idealism.
Yeah, I have to agree with the 7 out of 10. Entertaining to me, and it flowed well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I'd really like to see him
quirky
do like
stuff, but
a
still.
animated Superman movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be great.
Yeah.
Other than Iron Giant.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the 7.5 out of 10.
Wow.
Well, you guys did good because before I sat down here,
Yeah.
I was going to give it a 4.5.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so we sold you on this.
But you sold me. I'm going to boost it to a 6.
Okay,
You know?
very good. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
you know, we
you
knocked
brought
you up
up
2
a lot
points.
of stuff that.
I feel like we've been laughing and shit a lot this
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to go 6.5, 7.
So now you knocked it up too. Holy
Yeah,
crap!
because when we all talked about it, I was like,
Yeah.
hey, this is actually kind of a good movie.
Yeah, I kind
I
of
just like the details in this shit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, and that was a lot of it was they stayed true to that period, propaganda wise and everything. That was what was out there. And
One thing that I actually did want to mention was for What If Season 3, we almost had What If the Rocketeer teamed up with Captain America.
Really?
Oh,
Wow.
that
Wow.
And then it
Fuck.
fell through because of like rights or something.
Okay.
So,
Silly.
dumb.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
Would have been cool to have him.
Okay.
Only episode I would have watched. Other than
Yeah.
the first one.
It's like one of the most interesting ones they could have done.
Mm-hmm.
But
At least for that, it's like a rights issue.
Spinning the wheel again.
we got the Mark of Zorro.
I'm really fucking
1940.
glad we got this one.
The Mark of Zorro.
This is going to be the oldest movie we've ever watched.
Wow.
Until Metropolis.
Yeah.
There's a very good colorized version of this movie, if you want to watch that.
Next time up on Cape Critiquers, we're going to be watching The Mark of Zorro from a 1940. Yeah. All right.
See y'all.
Yeah. See you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
Zorro,